Who's scruffy looking?
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Talking with My Hans channel and part 2 of my Star Wars Squadrons breakdown series. This episode we're going to go over some of the multiplayer aspects of this game and some of the gameplay mechanics, and then next part 3, will be about all the stuff that we didn't see in this trailer and that we're expecting out of Star Wars Squadrons. So why don't you buckle up and let's get started. So the first thing they show us in this multiplayer aspect of the game trailer is that you're going to have to spend time in each of the 8 starfighters in order to take your fight online. So I don't know if that's a throwaway line or if they're trying to be cute, or if you will actually have to spend flight hours in each of these ships before either you unlock them or you're allowed to fly them in multiplayer. I think this is a really neat idea because it might have a tie into like an AI mode or a survival mode or something where you have to practice with the ships, which I'm pretty much down for. Anything that allows me to slip on VR and get inside one of these ships and shoot stuff is a win for me in my book. But as you can see, there are indeed 8 different kinds of starfighters that you're going to be able to fly in the base game. Each class of starfighter is unique, it looks like, and they all have different firepower, different kinds of speed, and have obviously different toughness. So you have your fighter class, which is your X-Wing and TIE Fighter. These I would imagine would be your most well-rounded types of fighters, probably like your Assault class in Star Wars Battlefront that can do a lot of things, but not one thing very particularly well. Then in the Interceptor class, you have, of course, the TIE Interceptor and then the New Republic A-Wing, which are both incredibly fast but don't have the firepower or the toughness to back it up. So obviously the agility is going to be what this class is going for. Then in the support class, you have 2 different carriers. You have a TIE Reaper and a U-Wing, which are described as 2 different kinds of ships that will be able to help repair your teammates or maybe lay down some cover fire. As you can see, they're both sort of fast. They have some firepower, but obviously they're incredibly tough, so they can take a couple of hits. And then, of course, my favorite kinds of ships, the bombers, of course, the TIE Bomber on the left, and then my absolute favorite Star Wars ship that I'm so excited to fly, the Y-Wing. Big-time firepower, super tough, but not very fast, super slow and bulky. I can't wait to get down and do some damage with these 2 different types of ships. So maybe there'll be a kind of like a squad mechanic like Battlefield or Battlefront, where each of these classes will have a specific role to fill, and you'll have to fly one of them. Maybe there'll be one of each player in a lobby. That wasn't really covered in the trailer, but I'm almost certain that that's how it's going to work when this game finally releases in October. Of course, one thing that everyone always looks out for in these games is the customization aspect. Of course, you're going to be able to customize your character, different types of outfits, different kinds of aliens, different kinds of races you want to put on your character, and then of course different cosmetic components to the TIE Fighters and the Starfighters on the New Republic side. You'll be able to change the paint scheme, maybe change some of the different components on your actual ship, and then of course the actual components from inside the game. These look like different kinds of perks that you'll be able to put on your ship. Each ship has 3 slots, at least as far as I can tell from the trailer if you look on some of these shots that have the inside of the cockpit. And then you have a multitude of different kinds of components you can put on your ship, ranging from different kinds of shields to different types of torpedoes and missiles, different kinds of cannons and hulls and engines. It's going to be absolutely insane, the different kinds of combinations you're going to be able to come up with in this game. We'll have to go over some of these in a different video because there are so many. I'm looking at a repair droid, different kinds of masks. I don't even know what that means. I can't wait to dive into all these different kinds of components. Also in the trailer, they showcase 2 different modes for multiplayer. Now, if it sounds like 2 different modes is not a lot of modes for a game, you're probably right. But you have to keep in mind in this video, and especially in my next video when we talk about this game, that this is coming out for $40 in October. It's not a $60 game. So if it sounds like it's a little shallow, that's probably because it is. So, of course, you have your dogfight mode where you're going to be able to fly with your friends and fight against 5 other enemies. One side will be the Empire, and, of course, the other side will be the New Republic. This sounds like a great mode to jump into if you're just getting into the game, getting used to the mechanics of the Starfighter, it's going to be 5v5. I don't know if there's going to be AI starships added into the map, but we'll have to wait and see. But it definitely sounds like there's going to be 5 human players versus 5 other human players, and I don't know if you're going to have to fly one of each starship, or if everybody can have one kind of starship, or if you get all different ones. That is yet to be seen, but I would imagine that you can choose your own in this game mode. Of course, the big name game mode is the Fleet Battles in Star Wars Squadrons, where it looks like it's going to be a stage type of game mode where you have multiple different stages that you have to fight through in order to reach the end of the battle. A lot like Galactic Assault in Battlefront 2, where you have to fight on the ground and then you go up to the ship and you have to destroy the ship. It's going to be a lot like that, except just in space. So you're going to have a little dogfight in the middle of the map, and then whoever wins the dogfight will then advance into destroying one of the enemy's capital ships, either an Arquitens-class cruiser or looks like a Nebulon B for the New Republic. Once you destroy one of the capital ships, you'll then move on to destroy the subsystems and ultimately one of the larger flagships for each of the teams. Looks like a Star Destroyer and then a Mon Calamari cruiser for the New Republic. This game mode looks super cool. I can't wait to start rolling up on a Star Destroyer or a Mon Calamari cruiser and just start dropping bombs and blowing stuff up. It's going to be really crazy. I'm going to imagine that each of the different types of fighter classes are going to have a very specific role to play in these battles as well. Obviously, the Interceptor is going to be really good in the dogfight, and then you might want to use a bomber or a fighter to start destroying subsystems in some of the larger ships, and then maybe you want to use your support class to come in and resupply or repair people in those later stages. It's going to be really crazy to see how this shakes out. I'm really excited to try out this new game mode. So even for a $40 game, this is looking like a really fun experience to be full VR, to have a couple of different really cool game modes, and have a really immersive campaign. So I'm really not all that upset at the price point or what we're getting in the base game. The multiplayer sounds super fun. It's going to be quaint. It's going to also be kind of large scale at the same time. So it's 5v5. You have that close friend feel, but then also those big, large, epic space battles that we all want to see in a Star Wars game. I think the key for the multiplayer in this game is going to be making it feel different than the Battlefront Star Wars games. How are they going to make this game feel different and play different than just kind of the point and shoot style from the Battlefront games? The developers said they wanted to make this as an immersive experience as possible, but also be able to pick it up easy and be able to play. So they said that while it's compatible in full VR and almost all the buttons work, that it's going to be easy to pick up at first, but as you go along, it's going to get harder the more you learn about how your starship flies and the different kinds of things you can do with it. So I'm super excited for that because I want this game to be kind of hard. I don't just want to cruise through this and have it to be point and shoot. I want to be flying these ships and feel like I'm really having to focus, and it's really, really hard to shoot somebody down. It has to feel rewarding to take out a subsystem or someone else. When I play the Battlefront games, it doesn't feel that rewarding when I shoot down another starship because there's the auto lock feature, and really all you have to do is fly around and pull the trigger. As for what new starships we're going to get, or other game modes, or maybe some new DLC, that's all going to wait until next video because there's so many things I want to see out of this game that I can't fit it in just one video. So stay tuned for part 3 coming up really soon. I hope you enjoyed this one, and in the comments, leave some things that you notice about the multiplayer aspect about this game and what you're excited about. Okay, until next time, I'll see you guys later.
Gonna be all that's gonna be. Give it up, gonna be all.